Chess nonsense and analysis. Hi, dear viewer. So we are back at Uzbek Chess Cup one more time. Today was round four. Another very interesting round. So basically, two games were decisive. The game in which we're going to look at, Praggnanandha beat Sindarov, strong Super Grandmaster 27-18 from Uzbekistan. And another decisive result was Yakuboyev lost to Maksudlu. And what is interesting is that I think Yakuboyev has almost had decisive results every round. It's very interesting. So he's a big fighter. But now let's go back to the event because three of these favorites, or should we say, I think the three favorites is Erkaisi, Praggnanandha, and Abdusattorov. So the interesting thing now in this round is that one of from the trio, the two favorites played against each other, which was Erkaisi against Abdusattorov. They drew a very interesting game, and but in that game it looked like Abdusattorov with the black piece was the one who was pressing a little bit, but it never was really enough. And so Praggnanandha has won. So what it means is that now we have two leaders with 3 points, 3 out of 4, Prag and Abdusattorov, and following them closely is Erkaisi with 2.5. So all to play for, and it is crystal clear now that in this tournament, one of the winner is going to come from these three players. But as I'm saying, I believe that these three players are now, it is more than just this tournament, right? This is a rivalry that is going to take shape strongly in the next few months because I believe that whoever can distance themselves from the other two is going to be the next challenger for the World Championship. Very interesting stuff. Let's have a look at this game that Praggnanandha played today. So, okay, it started fairly normally, I would say. An invitation to the Slav and plays queen d3, a little bit of a sideline, but nothing major. But bishop f4 is already quite a sideline. And I checked the database, and in this position, did take c4 and bishop b4, a couple of games, not a lot. a6 in my database was not there, so a6 could well be a new move. And the way the game progresses, I have this suspicion that both players are playing a new position, which is always exciting, right? Of course, according to the computer, it will be some inaccuracies, but I don't think it is, that one can assess chess in this manner. So e4 is logical, so let's go into it. Goes into the center, and white decides to take on c4 and play b5. Queen e2 is played to overprotect e4. Of course, queen d3 was possible, but then you would be going on the same file as the queen, right? Plays b4. This is a very, very aggressive decision. We could have waited with bishop b7 here and so on, but why not? Wants to go for it. Knight a4 and bishop b7. So it is crystal clear from the setup that black wants to play c5. Black wants to just go c5 and attack the center. So white first plays rook to c1. So, of course, discouraging c5 because, of course, if you play c5, white will take with the pawn and then play pawn to c6, pawn to c7. This is not what black is looking for. Bishop e7 and knight d2. It's forcing black to make a decision because notice the way that white's pieces are structured. If black does not take a decision now, the risk is that black may never get out of this position. White, maybe f3. Maybe white can even play a move like f3 and then put the knight on b3. and stop c5 and make it difficult to play e5. Um, yeah. Okay, maybe for that reason, not f3, because f3 would allow a knight h5. I'm not 100% sure how white should position the pieces, but if white can stop, you know, uh, overprotect e4 somehow and stop c5, then black could be in trouble, which explains why black directly plays c5 and knight takes c5, pawn takes and plays rook c8. So temporarily giving a pawn, but this is typical, yeah. The pieces are all coming into play. As soon as black is able to recapture the piece without any problems, white would have to be careful because the queen on e2 blocks the bishop, right? White is not fully developed. Okay, so hence white decides to hold on to the material. All right, black accepts the challenge and queen g4 is played. Bishop goes back to b7. They are really playing nice and aggressively. Of course, bishop g6 is just way too passive. It looks like maybe white would be able to throw in an h4 here, but bishop takes a6 is also, maybe bishop takes a6 is just simple. Just take bishop takes a6 because you have a check as well, right? That would be quite good for white. So black plays bishop b7, queen takes b4, queen c7. We reach this position. So yes, indeed, black has sacrificed the pawn, but notice that white isn't able to get out because the pawn on g2 would be hanging. And so Pragg plays f3. His argument is that his king may go to f2 and he can get out. Castles, bishop goes to e2, a5, queen a3, bishop c6. So he's trying now to get some counterplay because it's clear that the king would go to some f2, right? So yeah, some rook b8 and things like that, rook b8, rook b4, ideas like that are coming into mind. So castles, bishop f6, rook c2. So notice that he overprotects this pawn because we're expecting black to come on that file. a4 is interesting. Yeah, plays rook b1. So it's with some ideas like we understand that there's going to be pressure on the b file, right? Plays queen e5. Queen c3, queen f5, queen d3, queen e5. So black is not unhappy with the draw, but Pragg is after bigger things. He repeats a while and then he says, "No, I want to play on with queen d2." Of course, the argument, although white is a pawn up, but very difficult to get out. But once white can get out, it would be doing very well. Rook d8, queen c1 must protect the bishop on e3, queen h5, b4. Well, you cannot leave that pawn. And now things have gone wrong for black. One has the feeling, right? Because now if I play b4, if white plays b4, then white can even sacrifice an exchange or and then, push the pawns. So this would be dangerous. Bishop e5 threatening mate. h3. I like the way that Pragg just plays this position. He's not afraid to give black some bit of of initiative, but I think he has assessed that there isn't much going on in the position. Because look, queen h2 check looks, oopsie, queen h2 check looks like a very strong move, but just king f1. And then if queen h1, then king f2. There isn't much going on, right? So instead plays bishop d5, king f1. Now this introduces the bishop as a nice defensive unit. f5, okay, black is desperate now. Bishop g1, beautiful, beautifully placed, and just no attack anymore. Everything is really well defended. The black squares are well defended. The bishop on e2 is well defended. It's amazing how he managed to extract himself, so to speak, no, from that passive position. And but now everything is well placed. The pawns are running. We've got two runners. He tries bishop e4, to create some kind of chaos. Of course, if you take here, I take with the F pawn and the king becomes weak, but white is not interested in that because these 2 pawns are just much more dangerous. Yeah, queen F4, queen B2, queen B3. It takes the exchange. There are no pieces anymore left for black. Black is in dire straits now, and just this is now fairly technical and simple for Praggnanandha. And after queen C5, the opponent resigned. A beautiful game, and Prague is really looking like he's on form as well. So it's actually quite an exciting event because all three of them are actually playing quite well. And I think the main question now, dare I say that it's going to be who's going to get to extract the most points from the rest of the field, right? And because I think possibly between them, it could be a draw. I don't know. I'm just speculating because now, okay, the next game that's what we're waiting for will be um, Praggnanandha against Sindarov, right? And then Prague still has to play Ergaisi as well. So and then otherwise it's the rest of the field. Very exciting tournament, very difficult tournament. I mean, just to show you how difficult the tournament is, someone like Nepomniachtchi has not won any game and is battling, fantastic event. So yeah, all to play for, all exciting. So let's wait for the next round to see what's going to happen. So yeah, if you like, please do like, share, and subscribe as well. And keep your eye out. We'll be looking for the tournament and giving some updates on a daily basis. Yeah, so till next time, for now I will say, checkmate.